So, there I was, getting ready to record for this week when I realized it was force wipe. And when it's force wipe, the servers are a little bit dead, and so I decided to just hop on, not really expecting much to come from this recording session. Boy, was I wrong. The preceding 24 hours of gameplay, it's not going to be 24 hours long, don't worry, but me playing over the 24-hour period, I did some crazy stuff on this server as a solo, and it all began with a wooden door and one giant mistake by this duo. Sit back, relax, enjoy me tearing it up on this server as a solo. So, like I said, I wasn't really expecting much of this, but of course I clicked record because, well, let's face it, that's what I do. So I started off on this server, I jumped in, and as you saw, I found a couple rocks, big whoop. And I started looking around, and I quite liked the layout of this map, so I decided I want to build down near airfield, so I could also get the bonus of the snow biome. Upon arriving in the general vicinity of the area, I stumbled into what I thought was a very interesting base, the one you are seeing on screen right now, and I deduced that perhaps there might be some loot in there for me to take, because it's built so poorly. All I needed was a bow. If I can get a bow together, I might be able to get in that base. So I took all of my rocks and I went and got some wood. And I managed to actually scrounge together a bow quite quickly. But just before I could set to my goal of getting in that base, or at least trying to, I was rudely interrupted. Quite a lot going on around here, isn't there? Really a good place to shack up. Nice. Yeah, Neo, that's exactly what I wanted. With that taken care of, I set to my task of breaking into this base, starting with destroying this wall. Alright, let's see what we got going on in here then. I really think there could be some stuff in here. I just need to make that jump. Oh, I did it first time! Go on, me! But the tree's in the way. Lovely. Oh my god. Wait, is this just open? It is. Oh my god. Tier 1. Very big. Open TC as well. Like actual useful shit here. Nothing in the TC though. I might just take what I can carry and dip. Because I don't like the sound of this area, not right now. Yeah, I for sure need to dip. Go build somewhere like F16, kind of near those dudes. A little bit on me now. I won't be able to make... That is exactly what I did with my new ill-gotten gains. I travelled to the location I wanted to build at, and when I said build near those guys, that will become apparent very shortly. But on my way there, I stopped to gather some wood for some trees, because that's where wood lives, and I gathered enough to put down myself a little starter base. The area that I chose also came with a neighbor, this guy, and I had deduced that he had left a very silly mistake on his base, this triangle floor right here. He had left it unhoneycombed, and from what I could see from the front door there, it led all the way into his base. So keeping that in mind, I slapped down my little starter base. I filled up my boxes, and it was almost time for a roam and an inspection on the quote-unquote those guys nearby me that you guys are yet to be introduced to. But first, I was desperately in need of one thing, and that was a TC. Without it, anyone could just block me in my own base. So after getting that and placing it down, I headed over to see those guys. Now, those guys were in fact two dudes living in a tiny little 2x2 that I thought might be deepable, just purely based on instinct. So I headed over to check it out, see if my instinct was in fact correct. I'm gonna head over. This is where that other base is that I want to try and go deep on. I'm guessing it's them. I was waiting patiently here, gathering information on what I could hear inside their base, listening out for any more doors, but from what I could hear, they had only opened and closed this top door. Seems to just be one door. So I figured it was just one door. This might definitely be deepable. He's open! He's dead! He's invited me to a team! I need to kill him before he closes it. No, no! Oh, my bow did that thing where it doesn't shoot. I'm in, though. Everything? Unlocked? I have everything. I have everything. What do I do? What do I do? I need to build myself in. What do we got? Oh, a Jackie. Very nice. I need a gun, though. Crossbow will do. What's in there? Nothing. Right, I need to build myself in here. I'd done it. I had gone deep and I'd got everything that these people owned. But now I had the not so small task of getting out with it all. They had closed the door up top. I had no explosives, not even at my tiny little 1x1 base. This was a sticky situation for sure. But I'll just let it play out. Okay. Oh, fuck. I can't get out of there. But it's so typical they have no wood. I don't know what... I don't know what to do. Not much to do. Can't make a furnace. Can't research anything because I don't have a freaking... This is bad. There's nothing I can do. Except try and kill them and... take everything out with me. Ben was right. There really wasn't that much I could do here apart from block off all of their loot, which is what I'm doing right now. I had cleared TC. I had taken away their sleeping bags. They had no way of getting in other than coming through the front door that was currently locked. Now, I had done all I can to protect them from now my loot, but I still needed to figure out a way out. Surely they wouldn't be stupid enough to just open that front door, right? He brought me wood. Holy shit, the door's open. So now scrambling, thinking they might have had outside bags coming to close that front door, I did my best to grab all the important stuff and make a break for it. But knowing well that this loot was still locked behind my locked door, even if they did close that wooden door, I could easily get back to it later down the line, so I left some important things in here. But luckily for me, they did not come back, not for a little while, and I managed to get out with a very good haul of loot. No way they left that open, bro. That's crazy. I'm out. I'm out. I knew that was deepable. I knew it. Now I just need to make my base not deepable, and then I'm going back. Gotta pray they're not back there. And I needed a jackhammer, by the way, to do that. So this is massive. This is huge. Oh, the door's closed. That's a shame. That's fine. I got, like, all the good shit out of there. So I'm really not that bothered about everything else. I really wasn't bothered. I had got a lot of stuff out of their base, and more importantly, I had a very brand spanking new jackhammer, of which I could now use to do that eco raid that I was thinking about doing on my immediate neighbor. About it. Things were going swimmingly here. I felt like on top of the world right now, and I felt that nothing could derail me. And, well, I took a small break to go to the loo, and when I came back to this. Well, ladies and gents, we have a minor problem. I've just come back, and, well, this dude is now online. Not a huge problem. I just need to kill him, get him on timer, and then break that seat. Oh, I'm the worst. Oh, I'm the worst. But yeah, I just need to get him on timer or something and carry on, because I'm very close to getting that ceiling down. So I just was about to put my metal door on, but I needed the loo, so I went to the loo, and then when I got back, I was being flame raided. Very bad. Yep, I forgot the one rule of Rust, and that is you must be online 24/7. I literally, kid you not, I had my metal door in my hotbar ready to place, and I thought I'll be okay for literally 1 minute. Came back, and I had been flame raided by two dudes. These two dudes. Actually took everything. Oh, they didn't take that. That's quite large. Down but not out, I took the pickaxe they did not take, and I carried on hitting my neighbor's ceiling just to make myself feel better. But luckily, those guys do not know that I had recently gone deep on another base, and I still had a fair bit of loot. I just needed to gain access to it. So undeterred, I decided to get my base back into ship shape. A way to get the shit out of that other base. If I can do that, I'll be good. After a brief murder, I decided that I wanted to pursue Molotov cocktails on the tech tree. Now this would take a lot of scrap. 500 scrap to make the tier 2 workbench, plus another roughly 600 to 800 scrap to learn all the way to the Molotov. This was my goal just because the area I was in seemed to have a lot of active and wooden doored or wooden walled bases, and I thought this could provide me a lot of good fun. So I researched myself pickaxe here to continue the eco raid on my neighbor, and with that in mind about the Molotovs, went about my business to try and get as much scrap as I could. And of course, learning from my mistakes, I put down a metal door instead of my wood one as soon as I possibly could. No more getting flame raided, and now focusing on the flame raids I want to do, and of course, finishing off the eco raid right next door to me. But here's my plan. Break into there, see if I can get anything, and then work on getting all the stuff out of the other base. With a plan laid out, I head over to my neighbor's base to carry on the eco raid when I was met by some unfriendly folk. Styro. Well, with those folks dispatched, and with a pretty good haul of loot off them too. Yes, I know I missed a bunch of stuff, but things I don't pick up in these videos are things I could just care less about. I'll just get them down the line. I see all your comments. Type it away. Key with you, the worst looter I've ever seen. And look, I agree with you. I'm not that great at looting. But remember, I haven't played this game since, you know, starting roughly a month and a half ago. For well over like a year and a half, okay? Please, cut me some slack. I'm still learning to do it again, alright? But I digress. With these guys dispatched, I packed away all the extra little loot I got from them, and I headed back to my main focus, which was eco-raiding my neighbor, because I had a sneaky suspicion that I could get something juicy from this dude, who apparently has just not made a noise since he shot me from his roof. Alright, so this is about to go down pretty soon. I do know there is a half wall on the other side of this wall, so I need to like jump and try and place a wall under my feet. Not a wall, a ceiling under my feet, so I can like be able to get up there. See what I mean? It's half wall there, so I need to like jump and place. Come on. It is possible, I've done it before. There we go. Alright, here we go. Pretty close. Oh my god. I'll be loaded, be loaded. Got his pistol here, that's great. I knew he logged off. No. Food's fine. Oh, man. Really thought this was going to be loaded. Oh. I don't have a way in there. Yes, sad times, sad plays, sad players. I didn't get much out of this, except for a P2, which is actually really nice, because I don't have any BPs on this server, and I could use this to learn, and then obviously run around with a P2. Now, with the eco raid out the way, my focus was shifting back to the deepable base that I went deep on earlier, and back to try and getting the loot out of there, which is rightfully mine. And to do that, I need to get a tier 2 down, and I needed to tech trash my way to getting a Molotov. And on one of my roams out trying to gather scrap and information, I ran into two I ran into two lovely little road dwellers. Interesting that he has a key. Well, that was unexpected. Why the fuck have you got so many rocks and torches, dude? Get better loot. This guy had a revolver, which is nice. I could learn that. Or just use it whilst I wait to learn the P2, actually. That's a better idea. Oh, no. Taking that, boy. Come here. Yoink. Alright, well, I was out here to get scrap, but I guess I'm running this home. Nice little come up. A revolver. Thank you very much. Revolver now on my hip. I was beginning to pick up pace in my quest to get the ever-elusive Molotov cocktail. And with a few visits to airfield and murders of some unsuspecting nakeds like you're seeing here, I was slowly but surely building up the required scrap that I required to get what I needed. This was going very swimmingly. And then out on another roam in search for scrap and goodies, I ran into this interesting little thing, if you can call it a base. Now, I'm not going to be too mean, because clearly the owners of this base were pretty new, but I was in a rush. Wipe day was pretty soon, and I wanted that Molotov. Interesting. Go home, I guess. Depositing and heading straight back out, it did not take me long to run into some more shenanigans. Oof. Cooked him. I'm going home. There's a very good amount of stuff. Really good amount of scrap. I might recycle here, you know. These nakeds are juiced today. Okay, got all of that back. Let me make a tier 2 and see what we need to get ourselves Molotov. I'm sure we won't be too far off, to be honest. Alright, Molotov 850. We're very close. 635. Very close indeed. I was very quickly coming up on my goal of getting Molotov cocktails, so I spent the evening at Harbour, pretty much just AFK, waiting for all my crude oil to bubble its way into low grade, to then use in the morning to make my Molotovs. Things were about to get knocked up another little gear here. Yeah, we did it. Let's go. Okay, so now I can go ahead and just make 4 of those. And then we can head off to the raid that we want to do, which is that way. It's on that yellow marker there. Just way over there. So, let's go do it. Now, once I arrived at my prospective raid target, I realized he had a metal door on the front. Not good, especially not for Molotovs, because fire does not hurt metal. But I wandered over a different way and chucked 4 on a wooden door frame that I could see, which sadly led me to nothing. But all of this meant I was more intrigued than ever to get a Molotov raid cooking, and that is exactly what I stumbled my way into. So there's a couple dudes here who are looking like prime candidates for my Molotov raid addiction. They've just ran from like northeast-ish. There they are. And I'm hoping they're gonna have go away, scientist. Hoping they're gonna have what I want, which is like a base with a wood door, or like a wood base. Not much loot though. wonder where these guys live. I'd like to know that. This is the base that Ayuka raided earlier. They were coming from like this way, so let's see where he goes. He was headed this way for sure. He could live right here. They do live right here. Oh dear too. I have no way to break TC. Yes I do. Yes, quite the situation I had stumbled my way into here. It's not quite the Molotov raid that I was looking for, but it's something even better. The second time this wipe that I have gone deep on someone, and a group that has like 6 bags in their base. I have not counted them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bags in their base. These guys had a lot of loot, but now I was facing a mild crisis. I had no real way to break TC, at least not that I thought, and they were circling the base. I had to think quick. Need a way of making low grade. Now, I was in a sticky wicket here after destroying all the bags and destroying all the dead bodies I had created to try and get as much low grade as possible. I was still falling short on being able to make enough low grade to be able to make either more fire arrows or a Molotov to destroy the TC. And that is when I had a brainwave. I could, in fact, make gunpowder right now, because what did I just get out of that furnace? But a good amount of cooked sulfur with some charcoal. And what does that make? Well, of course that makes gunpowder. And what did I get when I learnt my way to Molotov from the tier 2 earlier? I got myself shotgun shells. So I was to make an Ioka pistol, and then I was going to make shotgun shells and blow this thing down. I can make shells. Beautiful. Saves all this mess. Ah, shit. No, I can't. I need stone. Do they have sewing kits? No, I can't make a bag. This is gonna suck. Okay, now we just break our way out. Here we go, they're probably waiting. Oh, crap. Oh, I didn't get the med stick. Oh well, it's fine. The wood as well. I need to heal. Gonna come back here with 5 mollies, I think. I definitely need to get myself a bubbler down. And I'm definitely going back to that area with 5 mollies, hoping to gain access to a couple more bases there. That's right, I had seen a wooden base while on my escapades around this area that I really wanted to Molotov raid. So I headed back that direction with said Molotovs, seeing that the group that I had just gone deep on rebuilding right there, to hopefully online raid this dude that was living in a little wooden base. Okay. Well, that perfect timing if you want. What the? Where's me horse? Now that's a lot of wood. Makes it for the wood I lost at the previous place. Over here. Be an interesting raid as well. I'm gonna do that as well. That I did, wasting no time. I stashed all the loot I got from that raid, which 400 scrap, by the way. That's a lot. And I came straight back to this base that I passed on the way home to give this one a little pop too. Wide open. Oh, this is going to be loaded, isn't it? We need a backpack. Oh, but it's open. Bean can, though. Huge. 400 scrap. Yeah. Very good. These mollies are coming up something fierce. I have got a lot of scrap and a lot of, well, just everything now. This is about to drop another frickin'. Things were going really well for me. So well, in fact, that I turned my gaze back to the beginning of this wipe and where I went deep on these guys. It was now time for me to rescue the loot I had left behind in there by destroying the door on the roof with a Molotov and gaining access to it. Oh man, it's been a while since I've been in here. Well, not that long, but it seems like it's been a while. But I did leave quite like a good amount of stuff in here, so this is actually a worthwhile trip, I'd say. Take all the good bits, leave the stuff I don't care about. You're all going to say I'm a bad looter anyway, so it doesn't matter. But I think that should cover it. I will get out of this base's hair once and for all. Say thank you and goodbye, because this thing started my journey on this server. If not for this base and these guys, I wouldn't be here. And I wouldn't be making this video, so... yeah, but it's coming close to like wrapping up time. It's Wednesday right now, and wipe day is tomorrow for me, Thursday of course, and it's getting late in the Wednesday, so we'll be wrapping up soon. Past Ben was right, I would be wrapping up soon, but before I could even think about turning off my game, I heard a massive raid in the not too far distance, and I headed over to check it out. Yo, whoever's being online, I'm here to help. I was pretty up here, so I stashed all the extra weapons that I had, and I hung around this raid a little bit more to see if I could squeeze it for any little bit more loot. Sadly, that wasn't the case. I ended up dying almost freaking immediately, which is a shame because I was just wrong. I was in my inventory at the wrong time, and I got killed by someone with a custom twice. That once there, and then this one here when I was in my inventory. But it's okay because, like I said, I was pretty up and I had ran all of the weapons, the extra weapons apart from the custom that I just lost, back on my little horsey, safe and sound into my base, where I then researched them for safekeeping. Now, this was pretty much the end of the wipe for me. Like I say, it was just not even meant to be a video, but it was a fun little experience I had that I thought I'd share with you all, just so that you know that you can just play Rust for a bit of fun rather than tryharding all the time. But there was this one last kill I wanted to show you where me and him both ran out of ammo. So I just ran at this guy with a mace and managed to absolutely schwack him with it, which I thought was pretty funny. But after this, I gave my base away to this lovely little dude that I met, who was very appreciative of it. But I actually don't think that he knew that this was all wiping the next day, but it is what it is. Enjoy this. Put the lock on the roof. I love you. Put the lock on the roof.
Man, goodbye.
Goodbye. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this short but sweet and fun little video. If you did, please leave a like. If not, a dislike. If you're new around here, consider subscribing. I see you all watching. 90% not subscribed. Please subscribe. I appreciate it. New video next Friday. Take it easy. Peace.
I've been searching in the dark, trusting every clue I found, but the truth has not been told. There's every corner of these woods is hollow. I can't see